Breakfast, and we are heading now to talk about yet another region discussion or a region government policy. Well, the federal government has invalidated more than 22,700 degrees obtained from what it calls unaccredited universities in Togo and Benin Republic. According to the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, these institutions are compromising Nigeria's educational reputation, and he says that this decision follows a disturbing revelation about widespread certificate, racketeering, and forgery. Well, the federal government has now officially recognized only 3 institutions in Togo, 5 in Benin Republic, saying these are the only legitimate institutions for awarding degrees to Nigerian students, deeming all others illegal. Now let's talk about this. We have joining us in the studio Oladende Adekunle. He is a media consultant at the ESCAE University. We also have joining us from our Abuja studio Ikenna Favor, the president of the National Association of Nigerian Students in Benin Republic. He's also the Senate President of the National Association of Nigerian Students in the Diaspora. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us at this time. Let's begin from our studio here with Mr. Adekunle. What do you make of this move by the federal government?
The move is very hasty and poorly thought out. To me, we don't need this. I don't know where they are coming from for them to invalidate or call it certificate forgery. It is wrong. Based on what? I don't understand. Let's also look at the so-called university that has been recognized by the federal government. 3 in Togo and 5 in the Republic of Benin. We have in Togo, we have Université de Lomé, Université de Kara. Conche Kara, it's not this Kara. And the University, the Catholic University of West Africa, they have it in some Francophone countries. We are talking about the Republic of Benin. We have the Université de Aboni, the rest of it, the Parakou, the University of Agriculture, University of Science and Technology, and their cooperative university. These are 5.
These are the approved institutions.
The question is, these 5 in the Republic of Benin and 3 in the Republic of in Togo are public university. Are they saying that in the Republic of Benin and Togo there are no private universities as we have in Nigeria? What is the criteria? And how many of Nigerian citizens can go to public university in the Republic of in these 2 countries? There are so many private universities registered, recognized, well accredited by the government of the Republic of Benin and Togo. Are all these private universities fake?
Well,
are they not up to standard?
According to the federal government, the Minister of Education said they did their research, that it's a product of several weeks of research, several months of research, and that's followed an investigative reporting by a guy who got a certificate from there, went on NYC and all of that, and that's how they arrived at this conclusion that most of these universities are not even recognized in these countries.
You use most. In Nigeria, don't we have some universities that are not recognized? Years back, we have more than 100 to 200 universities in Nigeria that are not recognized by NUC. What do you make of that? Number 2, you said they based their decision on a particular person that went to university to obtain.
No, they didn't base their decision.
No, one of their
prompted it up, and then
prompted it up. Do we have such in Nigeria?
Such what, please?
Such in Nigeria. We are recently, about 2 weeks ago, a bread hawkers was mobilized to participate in NYSC. I think it's University of Calabar, if I'm not mistaken. So are they now going to ban, cancel, invalidate all the students from that university or from Nigeria? These are not well thought out. It's hasty. The regulation they did, it is not right. This university they call fake. This university, they said it's not up to standard. Did they hear from them? Or did they do their discrete background check from the government alone? Were they recognized? Were they known to law in that country? Were they accredited? Let me tell you, there is this particular university, Sky University. I have a relationship with them as a consultant. This university have an affiliated body across the world. Top university in the world. They do exchange program in the US, in Canada, in Europe. These are top-notch. These are top-notch university.
He's asking if it's affected, if these are...
Yeah, I said no single private university was among the 8 that government is talking about. Right. United, they are saying all the private universities in the whole of the Republic of Benin and Togo are not measured up to standard of Nigeria.
All right. Mr. Adekunle, let's put you on hold now and get to hear perhaps an insider perspective from Ikena Favor. You, well, from your bio, your brief bio with us, you are the national president, the Senate president of the National Association of Nigerian Students in the Diaspora. Specifically, you are the president of the national body of Nigerian students in Benin Republic. So what do you make of this decision by the Nigerian government?
All right, thank you for having me on the studio. Based on the conclusions and what the policies that the Minister of Education has given, it is very, very much pathetic and disheartening to listen or to hear that the certificates emanating from Benin Republic, over 22,700, are fake. It is very disheartening to hear about this, and these policies are very, it is something, are we just saying that those who have graduated and those who went, the legitimate student from Benin Republic, they went through the back doors to get the certificate? It's very disheartening. I'm speaking on behalf of the Nigerian students in Benin Republic. Hearing about this, those who have gone through the right process to get these degrees, and all of a sudden the Minister for Education are saying that these certificates are fake. It is so disheartening and very pathetic.
So, but then, how do you react to the certificate that bears the name of the guy who, the undercover Nigerian reporter, Umar Audu, who bagged a Cotonou University degree in 6 weeks? And this is not the first time that, that had been happening, which prompted the guy to go into that, to bring out, to be able to obtain that certificate, and then went ahead to even go further with, using the certificate to gaining entry into the NYC, etc. So how did you react? What impression did that give you, firstly, and how did you react to it?
All right, thank you for that question. My reaction to that is it's really, he has done his investigations. He's trying to prove a point to see if these things are really happening in Benin Republic. But yes, he has done that. But the step that the Ministry of Education has taken was not a proper step it should have taken. Now, he has taken this step to show that, okay, if this thing is happening, and he has been evaluated to mobilize to NYC and to serve and thereabouts. So my take to this is just something that he shouldn't thereabout. Thank you.
No, you have not exactly, answered this question, because if someone could stay back in Nigeria, obtain the Bachelor of Science in Mass Communication with second-class upper division from the school, I think École Suprême de Gestion et de Technologie, and then he got that. So you said that the guy was able to uncover such. Is that something that has been happening over the years that you are aware of?
All right. To me, who gave him the evaluation? Is it not the Ministry of? Is it not the NYC? Who gave him the evaluation? So to me, it's something that it has to. I don't have much thing to say about that. But who gave him the evaluation to be mobilized for service? It should show that the university that he went to has been accredited to mobilize for service. So that is just it, sir.
All All right, Ikena, let's also come back to the studio to hear from our co-analyst at this time. Mr. Adekunle, in addition to what you have said, there is also the insinuation being peddled outside that perhaps, aside the fact that the government is said not to have, done its due diligence on this matter, it seems to be like a blanket decision, not considering, as you say, a case-by-case, basis. The aspects that you mentioned about private universities being targeted in this latest policy, do you see it, as some have alleged, as perhaps a means by our private schools here in Nigeria who may have, have had a hand? Some people are alleging that private universities in Nigeria could, be behind this decision, could have maybe instigated the federal government to carry out what it did.
I wouldn't say that, because if you look at it, how many universities do you have in Nigeria? We have 270 universities as at 15th of July 2024. 149 private university, 63 state university, 62 federal university, and another 2 was newly registered. Even this year, that is about 270. Let's look at it. What is the capacity of all these universities put together? Is 510,000 they can absorb in a year. How many Nigerian students sat for JAMB every year? This year, we have 1,810,400 something. I don't know the exact figure now. How many of them pass beyond 200? 200? I'm getting somewhere. We have less than 500,000. And if JAMB cutoff is 150, 180, we'll be talking about those that pass beyond will be about 800,000 Nigerian students. And the total capacity of the private university and public university in Nigeria can only absorb 510,000. The shortfall, what they expect them to go? To be sleeping at home? So I want to answer this question that it cannot be instigated by the private university in Nigeria. I'm not speaking for them. If you go to the Republic of Benin, their private university is better and cheaper. It was cheap before. Then, before 3, 4, 5 years ago, you pay an average of 300,000 naira in private university in the Republic of Benin, which is about 600,000 then, because Nigeria, our naira is very stronger then. But if you come to Nigeria, you go to private, you pay anything from 600,000, 700 millions and above. So what am I saying? That it cannot be instigated by the private university in Nigeria because we don't have the capacity. We shut out every year over 1 million people that are willing to go into university. We don't have the capacity. That is where this Republic of Benin, Togo, and the rest of West Africa is helping Nigeria students. Let me tell you, most of these students in the Republic of Benin are better than Nigerian students here.
How?
The focus is study and study and study and study alone, no social life. They are very focused.
Have you seen how Nigeria, I beg to differ, and a lot of people will disagree with you. Have you seen how Nigerian students,
I'm not saying no.
Sorry, go abroad and even excel better than those?
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying, I didn't say all. I said most of these students that are attending genuine, registered, recognized university in the Republic of Benin are better than some of Nigerian students here.
Most of Nigerian students that attended genuine or that are attending genuine
universities
are also better than students from Benin Republic. It can be the other way around.
It can be the other way around. But you cannot now put blanket ban. The first question you raise, that my brother or my son at the other end, talking about somebody who went to, I got his certificate with this. Do we have it in Nigeria here? Do we have it in Canada? Do we have it across the world? It happens all over the world. We should not throw away the bath water, with the baby with the bath water. All we need to do is to separate shafts from the rice. We need to put into establishment a good quality control where certificate will be verified. So can't say because of one mistake of one person, now we're not able to put blanket ban. Are they going to ban the lot of Calabar?
So you are disagreeing essentially with the federal government when they said that most of these schools are not recognized by this country.
Disagree. I absolutely disagree because I have a relationship with them. Some of these schools in the Republic of Benin, my organization and this university, we have attended half a program across the world with top-notch university in the world. Are there those universities abroad, in the US, in Europe, who will not do their due diligence before they allow them to have an exchange program with their students? I think government still need to do their due diligence. It's too hasty.
You may not necessarily give it to some schools outside of the country, because recently we also saw in the news where some companies, some organizations were actually ejecting those who got employment or those who gained admission into their schools using fake certificates. So it doesn't mean that they are not
everywhere. And as a result of this federal government decision now, like Ikena was saying earlier on, there is going to be some form of reaction here in Nigeria, because people who are already working now, they've already activated the public sector, the public, civil service, that is, to begin to sanitize the system, quote and unquote. We'll get to that in a moment. I just wanted to ask Ikena Favor, who is with us in Abuja, at least from your office over there in Benin Republic, do you face some form of backlash as a result of this decision by the Nigerian Ministry of Education, like a reaction which will adversely affect students over there in Benin Republic, Nigerian students in Benin Republic?
Yeah, please, could you repeat the question?
Right. What fears are you having now as, a negative implication to this federal government decision now? Do you fear some form of regional backlash over there in Benin Republic, which could adversely affect Nigeria's interests?
All right. Thank you for the question. Currently now, the student doesn't know their fate right now. So they are very worried, and it's a concern to everybody, both guardians and parents. So they don't know their fate right now. So it's something that the government has to do. They have to take due diligence to think about before taking these policies, and saying, because they are legitimate students in Benin Republic, and it is those students in Benin Republic who went through the right process, who are still studying, who go to classes. Like he said, the other guest said that there are some students in Nigeria, in Benin Republic, who are more better than the students in Benin Republic. Yeah, it is a fact. Yeah, there are a lot of students and brilliant students in Benin Republic who are good, a lot, and I can tell you that. So the fears right now among the students is they don't really have a hope. So the government shouldn't just take these steps and just say all the certificate emanating from Benin Republic is fake. It's really, really very pathetic.
It's within the right of the government to take a step, and it's also within the right of the student to, to protest that decision. But are you in talks? Have you liaised or having conversation with some of these schools that are affected? What are these schools saying about their own authenticity or genuity about being recognized by Nigerian government?
See, according to my own basic research, the schools in Benin Republic are accredited. The schools in Benin Republic are accredited. So if they are not accredited, why would they mobilize their students to NYSC? So the schools in Benin Republic are accredited, and concerning the steps they are taking, I think the registrars or the founders, they are the ones who will say more on those things. All right.
So do you think they are talking? As a president, are you having conversations with them? How are you, getting in between?
We always have meetings I always have meetings with the registrars most times, and also with some stakeholders, relevant stakeholders who have taken this as movement as their own. So we are pushing hard, and they are taking a very steps to make sure that this is being resolved. So they will speak for themselves in due time.
Right. Mr. Adekunle, Ikena has, stressed the issue of impact of this decision on Nigerian students who already have their certificates that perhaps have now been adjudged as fake. And even those who are currently writing programs in these blacklisted institutions in the two affected countries. Talk to us about that and, the options available, because as you have also pointed out, this issue of fake university, fake institutions is everywhere. And we also have Nigerian universities that run satellite programs, exchange programs, so to speak, where you the certificate you will get could be a particular university, but you went to school in a place like Lagos, and the school is cited, at least the headquarters outside Lagos. Talk to us about, the options available right now.
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. And if you look at it, these students affected by this decision of federal government, I'm telling you, most of them are depressed.
Certainly.
They are psychologically troubled. And then the way out is very simple. All we need to do is to establish a good quality control. Number one, whereby the certificate of this student will be verified. We take into consideration quality of education they receive from those universities and standard. I am not saying Nigeria should compromise standard. No, not at all. We need to have a very good quality and standard in our educational system so that it will not be counterproductive in future. Government should look into the issue of standardized, establish a quality control. Even an agency can be established as a clearinghouse, not only between the Republic of Benin, Togo, the other Nigerian university in Sudan, across Africa, across the world. In Europe, Eastern Europe, Uzbekistan, so many Nigerians. So why are not particular about what they are doing at the Republic of Benin alone? What is happening in the Republic of Benin is happening all over the world, and it's also happening.
2017 and now.
Between 2017 and now. And do you know this is not even coming for the first time? It has happened before, and it was resolved. As it was resolved, there is no way we can put blanket ban on all these students. It is retrogressive.
So you're optimistic?
My organization, my NGO have about 10 students on scholarship in these universities. And they are one of the best. They can sit with their colleague in Nigeria. If it means that there will be a standardized test. If you go to America now, with a certificate, you need to go undergo some tests, some examination. If that will be the solution, let them go ahead and do it. But you can't just say, it's forgery. No.
Right.
No, say 22,700 certificates or offer are forged.
That's right.
It is not correct on what yardstick, on what criteria.
All right.
Government need to reverse this decision very quickly so that they will not have an issue on our hand. Because these students are depressed already.
All right, gentlemen, that is all the time we have now for this conversation. We must thank you both, two analysts at this time, Olade Adekunle as well as Ikena Favor. Thanks a lot for speaking with us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning.